Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at Aggro Paladin. Over the past couple of weeks there have been several people experimenting with various builds of Paladin that are not based on odd or even cards, but are instead based on stuff like Scarab eggs. And I've tried a couple of these decks. I tried the one with Sea Giants and Devil Zorex and stuff, but that didn't quite work out for me. It just wasn't fast enough and didn't have enough reach for my taste. But this build, this is Skywalker's build, Skywalker's Aggro Paladin build. It runs the Scarab eggs, it runs these early minions, it even includes King Mukla, and it doesn't have any Sea Giants, it doesn't have any of that slow stuff. It just relies on Call to Arms, tops out at Leroy Jenkins, Sunkeeper Tarim, Fungal Mancers, this sort of traditional strong stuff. And of course, being a pure Aggro Paladin build, it runs 2 copies of Divine Favor, so you can just play your hand and refill it very easily. Divine Favor is going to Hall of Fame, so this concept is going to get a lot weaker in the rotation. But right now, it can be something nice to play for a change. The overall strategy of this deck is to get on the board very quickly, then use your various buffs and taunt minions to create very difficult board states for the opponent to deal with. You can have, for example, stuff like Righteous Protector on the way, and then you can have a minion behind that with Blessing of Might buff on it, or you can hide Direwolf Alpha, or you can hide a Knife Juggler behind it. You can use Scarab Egg and then properly timed buffs, Blessing of Might maybe Direwolf Alpha, to give that egg more attack, and then proc the egg, you get some scarabs. If you happen to have a Knife Juggler on the board when you get scarabs, that's all the more nice to you. And when you have these minions on the board, then Unidentified Maul can give them some unexpected buffs. You can get big swing turns with that. Blessing of Kings can be used on any of the minions. You can use it on a Divine Shielded minion, you can even take value trades with that. Just many ways to use it. And then you have Call to Arms, which you can save for a refill, or it can be a swing turn, or it can just add more power to the board. And all this time the opponent also has to be wary of Fungal Mancer, wary of Sunkeeper Tarim. If you're ever in a position where you have a large board, you have ways to buff it, and Leroy Jenkins gives you some reach. And having access to these weapons, Unidentified Maul, True Silver Champion, also means that you're able to use your weapons to trade on the board if needed and save your minions. So very aggressive board, very token-based deck. But it also has some tools to avoid lots of these board clear spells, because Scarab Egg has a death rattle, and then stuff like Blessing of Kings can just give minions so much health that they can survive some of those board clears. So when you're playing this deck, you have a lot of plays that you can make to make it more difficult for control decks to remove all of your stuff. And then you have Divine Favor to just refill. As for the mulligans with this deck, you're generally looking for a curve of your 1 and 2 drops. So stuff like Squire, Lost in Jungle, Righteous Protector, Argent Protector, Direwolf Alpha Juggler. I tend not to keep Scarab Egg unless I know how to activate it, because if you run Scarab Egg and I can't find Blessing of Might for it or Direwolf Alpha for it or something, then that Scarab Egg just tends to be a waste of hand space. The only situations where I would consider keeping Scarab Egg without an activator would be against something that's definitely going to be a control deck, and then Scarab Egg can give me some insurance against the board clears. In addition to that mix of 1 and 2 drops, you're always looking for stuff like Unidentified Maul, but the 1 and 2 drops take precedence, so you can keep Maul if you have minions, but you don't keep Maul without minions. And then there is Call to Arms, and Call to Arms is always a keep. Even if you don't have a 1 drop, you will still keep Call to Arms. If you're being the beat down, you could also consider keeping something like King Mukla. And then I would keep True Silver Champion if I expect to need to kill some 3-4 health minions in the early turns, like against a rogue, and being able to kill Hench Clan Thugs can just be very useful. Overall a fun take, very aggressive take on Paladin. Struggles against Odd Paladin, pretty good otherwise all across the board. I actually had 75% win rate when I was playing this deck, did very well with it, very powerful deck. If you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at this Aggro Paladin in action. I think I'm only keeping the Call to Arms. Alright, if he can't find Celiax, then I should be able to win. But let's see. It's a new game. Let's see what happens in this one. He kept 3 cards. I didn't feel like playing Blessing of Might over here just to have it killed next turn anyway. He also has the coin. He kept almost all the cards, so he should have stuff like Celiax, SI7 Agent, something like that. Purifier Small is not strong enough yet, I think. Mukla might be. Let's play Mukla. Because I can follow up Mukla with a Purifier Small, but if he saves the coin, then next turn he could coin Vile Spine. So even that's not that great. He might like play Henge Clantag here. If he plays Henge Clantag, then I could Purifier Small. Mukla could even trade away the Henge Clantag with the Divine Shield. That would be an option. Then he could have coin Vile Spine for the next turn, but always things that can happen. My next turn is most likely Blessing of Might, Purifier Small. I don't think 2 of my minions will die this turn.
There once was a man from
I mean, I guess it's possible.
Too soon.
Okay, 2 of my minions did die this turn. But this is still not a bad turn, right? He can't Vile Spine next turn. He can Sap next turn, though. I can push 8 to face, but he can Sap. Does he have a Sap? I've now seen most of the cards that he kept. I think I need to risk it. So, do you have that Sap now? Because now he really needs the Sap. Then I still have Call to Arms coming, even if he can sap the Mukla here. He spent the coin last turn, so he can't activate a Vile Spine. Yet. He can do it next turn, of course. But he has to have the sap. That is not a sap, now is it? Nope, it most certainly is not a sap. I play Call to Arms. Rather poor selection, I suppose, but we're still rolling with these. So now he at least needs the Celiax, but probably he needs the sap, right? Let's see. But he cannot play both Celiax and sap. That's the second fan. No more fans available. Iron top deck and ruin. Boom. Maybe I can afford to keep Knife Juggler. Although his juggles have not always been on point, but no coin for me, that's a turn 5 Call to Arms. Oh dear, oh dear. No 1-drops. Knife Juggler the only 2-drop. Hunter kept his entire hand too. So that's incredible. Well, he still needs to have Spring Paw there. He doesn't necessarily have it. I have the Champion's Maul, which is a good maul to use with Juggler. That's why I wanted to play Juggler this turn. Because Champion's Maul is a good follow-up to that Juggler. He can of course coin Flanking Strike next turn. Or he could have that Spring Paw this turn. And that Candle Shot might also get a lot of value. Oh, that's a way to kill the Juggler over 2 turns. I mean, it definitely works. No, it doesn't with the Righteous Protector coming. Is it Hero Power Righteous Protector? Yeah, I suppose it's that and not the Direwolf Alpha yet. He can still coin Flanking Strike. It's acceptable. Okay, he's already touching the coin, so I assume that's going to be the coin Flanking Strike coming. Oh, Unleash is so good too. Unleash off the top. Nice. The Blessings of Might is not what I was looking for here. I'm afraid this turn has to be just champion small. I don't like this, but I didn't have a better line. 2 cards that were kept, but nothing has been done with those. So there's no Springbow. If there was a Springbow, he would have used it earlier to get rid of the Juggler. There can always be a flanking strike, of course. Alright, and I need to play the Call to Arms. And I need to hit into that one. Put it down to 1 health so that this Righteous Protector can challenge it. Maybe. But he might have been able to find a Springbow at this. Well, none of these cards can be a Springbow, right? It has to be off the top. Candleshot is a good card though. Okay, if that Razormaw can find health or... that's not bad either. Leroy is no good here. I need to kill the beast. That always has to happen. But I can't protect these minions. So using Blessings of Might on them is kind of a waste. 5 to face or trade the plants. If I don't trade the plants... there's also Leok is a possibility if I don't trade the plants. I think I'm trading the plants. And I'm equipping the True Silver Champion. Because now I can spend this mana. There has been no Springbow. Springbow has to come off the top. He already played 1 Unleash. I don't think there's another Unleash. Ah, Master's Call. That probably draws Springbow, and that's a board clear. No, Davy Jones, that's not the way it works. The autocomplete gives you a lot of singles. Oh, all the time, it gives you a lot of singles, that's just what it does. So I have like 12 burst from hand. I probably want to go wide. I want to kill the beast. And then I will push that 5 to the face. Because I'm quite confident that he has Springbow available right now. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, if he can track into Rexa, that's going to be incredible. But there's nothing I can do to play around Rexa with this deck, so... there's that. He's really looking for that Rexa. He can still coin the Rexa even after double tracking. But I don't think this deck beats Rexa. It just kind of doesn't. If it doesn't have fast enough of a start. But there isn't Rexa. There is no Rexa. If there was a Rexa, he would never do plays like this. So there cannot be a Rexa. I do like a good Tarim. That's 12. So that's 12. Plus 6 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. So that's lethal. Okay. Let's just kill him then. That was a crazy turn. I actually need to keep this hand. Protector first. If he opens up with the Firefly, I can die with Alpha to kill the Firefly. And Protector will protect the Direwolf Alpha. So I will play the Protector first and not the Squire, because you don't always want your Taunt minion out there on 1. It's not an odd Paladin though. It's not an even paladin either. So it's Secret Paladin, or it's a mirror, or it's the Sea Giant version of the Zoo Paladin, or it's an OTK Paladin. He kept 3 cards. OTK Paladin usually doesn't keep that many cards. Usually. But it might sometimes. It's a Murloc Paladin. But this still works out. What I said about the Direwolf Alpha still works out. It still kills the Murloc. Is he going to coin out the secret? Yep. He kept all the cards, so almost all the cards too, so there's some potentially scary stuff out there. All the defense matrices, redemptions, noble sacrifices. So let's say he has a Rockpool Hunter in hand, and this becomes a 3/3. And then what? I must not attack this turn. That still has to be correct. Not attacking this turn still has to be correct. I mean, he only has 3 mana. Maybe could have positioned these the other way around. Unlikely to matter though. Oh no, that Righteous Protector is a big deal. Especially if it gets revived. That can be a really, really big deal. No, it's all the defense matrix. Okay. Actually, auto defense matrix isn't even that scary. Because now I can kill this one. Then I can also kill the knife juggler. And I can also develop a Righteous Protector over here. So this actually went really well for me. It was scary for a while, but it actually turned out really nicely. I was ready to risk the redemption too, because of the Scarab. Okay.
The light protects me.
Well, so far this is fine. Fungalmancer, Tarim. So what if it's redemption? I mean, I can't play Tarim this turn, of course. What if it's noble sacrifice?
To battle.
We check for the redemption first. There's the redemption. And then we're going to kill that one, of course. I think I'm going to Fungalmancer here. And then kill that one too. So that I will have complete control of the board. I see one of his jugglers. He doesn't have Consecration in that deck, right? I don't think he does. I mean, I guess he could. Nah, there's no way there's going to be a Consecration in Murloc Paladin, right? So what is his plan? Does he have some kind of an answer to this? I mean, I don't think he can have any answer to this. Okay, Tarim is going to be so good here. Well, this one trades there. This one trades there. I'll play the Tarim. One of these trades there. The rest are going face. And there's no coming back from this. That's a lethal setup on board. And I've seen both Righteous Protectors too. So this won't be anything. This one damage, really. Maybe. Protector. Is an egg strong enough against Rogue? I mean, egg needs to be activated. How do I activate the egg? I don't think it's strong enough without an activator. I think I want to choose the champion because that gives me a chance to kill something like a Hench Clan Tug. Protector or Lost in the Jungle? Lost in the Jungle gives me a bigger board. It's not like on one he's going to coin Dagger. Well, there's my activator for the egg. So do it and play the egg. Let's play the egg.
The battle!
But this activator can be a little bit scary because it can be killed with something like an SI7 agent. Shem, did you hear Eternal is coming to Switch? Yeah, I did hear that. Pretty sweet. It's just more eggs at this point. And the Righteous Protector. So I have True Silver Champion to kill a Henge Clan Tug. If there's something else than a Henge Clan Tug, then it's probably Direwolf Alpha. This is what the True Silver Champion is here for. To kill that Henge Clan Tug. I'm going to be able to Divine Favor next turn. Does he have Fan in that deck? He could. Some kind of Miracle or Tempo type of rogue deck. I mean, Divine Favor is going to come down next turn. Just a question of whether Direwolf Alpha is played before that. Because I believe that he will always be able to kill the Direwolf Alpha immediately. It's at least quite likely. Okay. Coin SI. So is it Divine Favor first? Draw 4. Do I really play the Direwolf Alpha? Now that I saw an SI7 agent, but they can still be backstabs and stuff. They could even be fans. So I don't necessarily want to pop my eggs, even in preparation of a Tarim turn. I guess it's Divine Favor first. Draw 4 and see what I can pick up. I think I like these cards. But I think I want to do it like this now. This holds on to the True Silver Champion, gets some 1/1s on the board, so that Fan becomes a little bit more attractive. And prepares for a potential Tarim turn. It's Tarim turn. I trade away the Henge Clan Tug and I will push 9 to face. Like this. So he goes down to 12. There's 12 on board. There's a risk of lethal already. And I have some Blessing of Kings in hand, so. But I can't afford to hold on to Fungal Mancer. I like Sunkeeper Tarim. Sunkeeper Tarim is fun. Odd Magerino it is. I kind of like giving him an empty turn to... He can bring away a Divine Shield. He might have Cinderstorms and stuff. Those can be annoying. But I still think I need to go wide here. I can't afford to wait. Cinderstorm here would be a perfectly fine card to play. I would play Cinderstorm here every time. It's the Control variant. Okay. Well then... that can be a little bit more difficult. Let's see, he can't play Dragon's Fury yet. 5/5 cannot be pinged away. Okay, let's see. And I will get some Death Rattles there. Seriously? It's a pretty good card. Now he can then ping this one away next turn. Well, that sucks, but what can you do? I still think I have to do it. Just put more stuff on this board. And this death rattle. But I think there's going to be like 1/1 and super ping. Or something. There's a blast wave in that deck too. Well, that blast wave is not going to come out yet. But it might come out in the near future. Is it time to play Call to Arms? Yeah, absolutely it is. And find out what we can do. What's going to be the story? If he can't clear this board, then there might be a Tarim turn, but then that could be followed up by his Flame Strike turn, so it's still not a surefire way to succeed. Blast Wave kills almost everything. But it does kill the egg, so it leaves that bunch of 1/1s. Dragon's Fury also kills almost everything, but it also leaves the 1/1s. Then I will obviously Tarim. But then there can be a Flame Strike next. But I'm an aggro deck. I push. I ask him whether he has the answers. So I have 8 damage here. Next turn I can play Divine Favor, and if I get Leroy, I can play it immediately. This turn I cannot. So that seems pretty clear cut to me. Pushing that 8 to the face. Also sets a potential lethal with the Drusilla champion, unless he happens to have the Gluttonous Ooze. If he plays the Gluttonous Ooze, he will then have 5 more mana. He might be able to do something else too. But next turn I will play Divine Favor, and then I will have 5 mana to do stuff after that. Okay. Double Dark Reaper is pretty solid though. So these are enough to push through both Dark Reapers, although only barely. But Leroy would be lethal, because I could hit Leroy and then Sunkeeper Tarim face. So I can draw either 4 cards or I can draw 5 cards. I'll draw 4 cards. If I draw Leroy, I win. Hit Leroy, Tarim face. I draw Leroy, I win. Leroy here. I think I can try with this. Let's see. Springpaw Reno it is.
Reporting for duty.
I'll actually go with this line here. There could be a Crackling Razormaw. There would just be the Lynx. There's the Crackling Razormaw. So if he doesn't fight the +3 health, oh, those 1/1s are also pretty sweet though. Giving my minions some attack is not very useful. He still has the Lynx left. But if I just hero power, isn't that really weak? It is pretty weak, yeah. It has to be the Direwolf Alpha. But it's the Silverhand Recruit. Yeah, it will trade. That will force the Lynx if he wants to kill the Direwolf Alpha. And then he needs to have something with that Lynx. Timberwolf works out. This obviously isn't that great. But what real options do I have? I don't think I have good options. Both pretty low on resources, so if he finds Master's Call or some other good stuff, he gets to a really good position. If he can't find good stuff, then I should be fine. I like that Scarabeg. I like that Scarabeg a lot. I will happily use my weapon to kill off the spring claw here. Okay, so now I have a Scarabeg and I have a Fungalmancer in hand. Is he going to kill some stuff here? So he has another Razor Maw. There's a Dire Frenzy. Okay. Dire Frenzy on that can be good. Oh, I have a Call to Arms. So many interesting things that I can do. I think it's Call to Arms here. I mean, Blessing of Might hit there. Hero Power. Just doesn't seem that great. Let's just Call to Arms. Did not manage to pick up. Yeah, I mean, this one I'm not going to pop this, because he could have Unleash. Did not manage to pick up a Knife Juggler from that. So there's that, of course. But I really couldn't pop this for fear of Unleash. Not yet. Too early. Too early to do that. It's good that the Dire Frenzy hit me is the Lynx and not the Spring Paw itself. Because while sure the Lynx is annoying, it's not quite as bad as something else would be. Well, that's interesting. I think I'm trading this one away. I really think so. This one is getting traded. Why didn't he do anything? What does he have up his sleeve that I don't know about?
The light protects me.
I guess we'll find out eventually. If he had a flanking strike, he would have killed the Direwolf Alpha with the flanking strike. So there is no flanking strike in hand. So going to 3 health on the taunt minion is perfectly safe. I don't think I can afford to keep a Scarabeg. Not without having a Blessing of Might or Direwolf Alpha or something. Well, now I pick up 2 copies of Blessing of Might. Maybe I was just wrong. Maybe I should have just kept the Scarabeg.
The light protects me.
He's of course going to dagger down the Divine Shield. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Interesting line. I think this calls for Juggler coin lost in the jungle. I mean, 75% to get at least 1 hit on the Firefly, which allows me to trade away the Firefly. Then, what can he do? He could have Fan, of course. He could have Backstab. And that's definitely things he can have. Not saying that. %50 to get the hit. What if I miss? I'm not missing, haha. I also spent the Blessing of Might. Because I'm planning to Divine Favor in the near future anyway. Yeah, sure, you can dagger that down. Then you might have found something to deal with the Knife Juggler. He's 6/6 Edwin, eh? Not bad. I'm gonna have to trade away everything if I want to kill it now. But I could also just push 6 to face. Then I would still need another 6 to face somehow. How do I do that? I will find a way. And draw a couple of cards here.
To battle.
These fellows are hitting face. Oh, Purifier Small is a step towards. Oh no, not Ciliax. Why is it always Ciliax? Why? Why is it always Ciliax? That was so good. Oh dear. Well, what can you do?
The light protects me.
That Ciliax healing for 6. I have said it before, when they get that Ciliax, When they get exactly that Celiax, then they can win. Now with all of this having Divine Shield, there's a pretty good chance that I can actually Fungal Mancy next turn.
Hey, good tickets don't come cheap.
I might even go for a trade. If he goes for a kill on the Edwin, yeah. I'm going for a double trade here. Because I believe I can afford it now. Get rid of the Ticket Scalper. Get rid of the Edwin. We're not yet on Hook Tusk turn, so this is Tempo Rogue. He might have Hook Tusk next turn though. And he could have Vilespine Slayer now. Vilespine Slayer is not half bad, and that deck runs Fungal Mancer. $13 damage. Without that Celiax he would be dead by now. Funny how it works. If I didn't have exactly Celiax on turn 5 he would be dead by now. What if he has Hook Tusk for 8? Then I guess I will lose. If I start trading down this board, I will lose to Hook Tusk. But that's the only thing I lose to, right? That is the only thing I will lose to. So I will lose to Hook Tusk, but to not to nothing else. I was planning to wait to see the first dagger hit and then trade away, and then try to get the second dagger hit as a 50-50 roll. But the animation of Mukla took so long that I didn't have time to do that. So as I said that I will lose to Hook Tusk and nothing else, then there's the Hook Tusk. And that is the only card that I would lose to. But I did not have an out against Hook Tusk. I also considered going face, but that also was not an out against Hook Tusk. There's no Knife Jugglers left, so that means that this one is going to draw more cards, and that's a guaranteed loss. Well, you sometimes lose to Hook Tusk. It's an extremely powerful card. He needed Celiax on 5 and Hook Tusk on 8. He needed both of these to win. Rush Warrior is pretty off meta, and quite good against Hunter as well. You should not play this card in that deck.
Winter is here.
Now he's going to be able to give them Rush though. That doesn't, still, even though he's able to do this now, doesn't mean that playing that card is worth it. Because it isn't. Yeah, I lost to the combination of Celiax on 5 and Hook Tusk on 8. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.